Hey, yo, what up, fight fans? Daniel Compton here, Bay Area Combat. We're here in studio with Andrew Toste. Andrew, how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. Drive over here wasn't that bad for the second time.
Hey, super happy to have you back. We had a dry run with you, but you fought for the show 2 times, so we figured we'd get you in the studio at least 2 times. Second time's always the charm. So how was that last fight for you?
The last fight was great. Had a great time. I had a great time of the year with Mother's Day. Had my mom there. Family was there. It's a great event. I mean, the whole show was awesome.
I see you have the 155-pound strap right here in front of you, so you earned it that night. Tell me a little bit about how special it is having that strap with you today.
I mean, it's special having it with me every day. When I got home, I was pretty drunk, so I don't remember what happened, but all I could say is, when my girlfriend got home that night, she walked in the room and saw me sleeping with the belt. So, this thing's very special to me. It holds a spot in the house that's very special. It doesn't go, I don't go much places without it.
So it was a long journey to get to that title. Tell me a little bit about how the martial arts journey started for you.
Well, it started out sort of interesting. A lot of it had to do with watching wrestling on TV, like WWE type stuff, and that's what sort of fed me into doing wrestling in middle school, which sort of fed me into doing wrestling in high school, which fed me into doing the backyard fighting you used to do on the middle of the week with all your friends in high school. Everyone get together in someone's backyard and throw some gloves on. Mm-hmm. And that's where I met the coach that I would have up until now, Andrew Gomez. And then from there went into, fighting as an amateur.
So did you imagine yourself doing more of the professional wrestling route, or did you see yourself, fighting for the glory?
Well, when I was a kid in middle school, yeah, for sure. I thought I was going to do flips and shit. I was going to do all that flippy shit and jump through tables and shit. And then once I got into wrestling, actual wrestling, high school freestyle wrestling, that sort of everything clicked from there. I know deep in my heart, even after all of this is over, I'll still eventually go back into teaching wrestling or having something to do with wrestling in some way or fashion. So once I got into that and that sort of clicked over where it was actually competitive stuff as opposed to doing shit on top of your cousin or some shit, that's where it was okay, I'm gonna achieve something with this.
No, that's awesome. And you're definitely doing some big things with your amateur martial arts career as we speak. A bunch of great wins so far. Do you have anything coming up in your amateur fight career right now? Or
Yeah, I might have something coming up. Actually, some big news. I am fighting this coming month on the 18th. And that's going to be at San Francisco Combat, and that's going to be for actually 2 titles. It's going to be for the San Francisco Combat title, and it's also going to be for the Camo State title. So I'm going to be fighting for the title for the best 155er in the state of California, and that's going to be pretty exciting.
So how special is it for you to be selected, for that opportunity? I remember my first state title fight was really a dream come true for me. So how does that feel for you, man?
It's not just validation, because I'm not really I don't need anyone to tell me this is the right thing, but it's it's sort of that gratification of you what you're doing is achieving what you needed to achieve. The work you're putting in is more than the work that others are putting in. The amount of fights you're getting, the amount of wear and tear you're putting on your tires is more than worth what you're doing.
So where does the confidence come from? How do you get to the position where that you deserve to be in this position?
6 fights doesn't hurt. I've been fighting almost 3 weeks every single fight in between. Other than I started out in November. I had my first fight in November, and then I took December off just because of Christmas and the holidays. I don't really want to be fighting around Thanksgiving and Christmas when everyone's eating. Mm-hmm. I'm not trying to restrict myself that much. Also, spending time with family is you only get one time a year, and there's not many things that are more important than family. So other than that, I've been fighting 3 weeks out from January to February, March, April, into May. Now it's going to be right into June and July.
I'm super excited for the fight. You brought up how, you don't want to, involve your disrupt your family time during the holidays. How is it for, you and your family during, this stretch of your career where you're fighting so frequently? Is it stressful?
Well, it's life is stressful no matter what. It doesn't matter if you're fighting or, working or, you got something going on. it's always going to be stressful. So it's just a different stress. Everyone's focusing on different things. It's different being like the focus of everyone. Like, hey, we got to make sure that we're not messing with him before the fight, not giving him too much stress, which is a little different. Everyone's sort of focus is on you a little bit, which is different than what it usually is.
Yeah, stress compiles. So if you're having like a lot of, stress from work, and then you're putting yourself through a lot of physical stress, and then you add a fight on top of that, and obviously the fight camp, you have to put yourself through a bunch of physical stress. It can get challenging at times, and so it's really important to have a nice support system, I've found for my career, and I think that's a lot of the reason you're successful at this time, because I've noticed you have a lot of good people around you. So you're currently in a relationship right now as well, or?
Yeah, we just celebrated our 1 year on the 12th of this month. Been with her since I got my license, since before my first fight, and we've been together the whole time, been having nothing but happiness.
So when you got your license, you were a little bit bigger than you are now. Is that correct?
Yeah. So when I started getting back into fighting, because I took a very long hiatus, I took like 5, maybe 8 years off. Just experiencing life, sort of getting out of the grind. I had been grinding since like middle school, all the way through high school, right out of high school, supporting myself, and then still doing like training every day. So it was like I took a very long break. After that, I gained a lot of weight. I got up to like 240, 250 at my absolute most, I would expect, because, you're not weighing yourself when you're feeling shitty.
Yeah.
So, and then come December of 2020, I was like, yeah, this is not cutting it. And so I started cutting weight. 2021, I got my license, and I was like around 230, 240. And now, my last fight before Raul, I fought at 145.
Yeah, so that was a 145 same day weigh-in as well, or?
Yeah, same day weigh-in. And actually, so my scale was fluctuating that day. Shout out, Charles. I'm sorry, brother. My scale was fluctuating, and I weighed in over, so I was cutting the entire way up to Stockton. Drove from Gilroy to Stockton. I weighed in 141. I weighed in 3 pounds under the weight limit.
No way, and there's a pound allowance too. So really, you were like 5 pounds under.
Some shit like that. Yeah.
That's crazy. So you could probably do 35 day before weigh-in if you really wanted to.
Bro, I mean, like, it's all a matter of like, if you give me enough time, I can do it. But I don't want to. Like, the problem is I don't want to take enough time to get down there. I just want to fight all the time.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, after this, so you have a huge state title opportunity in front of you. That's amazing. You should be very proud of yourself. That's a huge accomplishment. If you do win that belt, which most likely you can, if you implement your game plan. We were talking earlier how, if you implement your game plan, that, any fight is winnable. And I feel like you're mature enough to do that at this time. So that very well way, that could be your strat very soon here. Are you going to go pro immediately, or what are your plans with that?
Well, I have a mindset that, like, a champion isn't a champion. You're just somebody who won a belt until you defend it. It's a little bit different in amateurs because you're fighting in multiple different promotions. Like, obviously my perspective is a little skewed towards like professional when you're like more structured to a contract to like a certain promotion. But other than that, like, I feel like you should try to defend your belt. So I really, like, just within like pride and like ego or whatever you want to call it, I want to defend this no matter what. So regardless of whether I go pro immediately after that, I want this to be in between that.
Okay, well, that makes sense. And that's cool. I was actually talking to you about how I kind of want you to go for the double champ just because you can make 145 relatively easily. And I'd be sick to have 2 straps, a strap on each shoulder.
Yeah, I mean, just call me the belt collector. Somebody's like Kenny Omega, just walk around with all of them, just like right here, right here, right here, right there.
I think it'd be awesome to see that. The state title belt, in my opinion, is like the most prestigious belt that you can get as an amateur here in California. And dang, it's right there within your grasp. I fell short on my first state title attempt, but I didn't give up, but also too, when I did end up winning the state title, I had to like reevaluate my goals, because when I started fighting amateur, that was like one of the main goals. And then when I got it, I was like, damn, I got to fucking now. I better like figure,
Move the goalpost, right?
how to make doper goals.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm still striving to achieve those. They're kind of harder to get. What are your goals right now?
Well, like you, I have that state title is a big goal. It was sort of like I look a lot at rankings, so I look at like Tapology and stuff like that. The guy I'm fighting, the guy I'm fighting is ranked number 1 in the state, number 1 in the region, and that's sort of what I've been looking at for a while. So it's just sort of like a combination thing. Like the belt goes with that number 1 ranking, and that's sort of what I want. As a Steelers fan, that black and gold looks absolutely beautiful, and I want that a lot. I want it so bad.
Yeah, do me a favor and go ahead and say your opponent's name for me real quick.
I'm gonna go ahead and say his nickname. His name's Uzi. I am not gonna be able to say his full name. I'm not even gonna try to and disrespect him like that. But he is the number 1 ranked guy on Tapology, number 1 ranked guy on Camo. He fought at Dragon House. He's fought at San Francisco Combat. He's 7-1. He fights out of Santos MMA, Santos Jiu-Jitsu. So he's going to be a game guy. I watched a few of his fights, not all of them. There's a few that aren't on the internet out there. But I found a lot of footage on him. He has a lot of progression between fight to fight. He's a game guy. He's going to come out swinging, and it's going to be a good fight.
I think our sound guy, Zach Anderson, could take him. Zach, you think you could beat the guy up, though?
Anyway.
Yeah, so,
Well, I mean, he has the power of sound on his side. Like no one's gonna messing with him. He's just gonna clap, and they're all just gonna bleed from the ears.
Speaking of which, though, so what do you do for work right now?
Well, I work for Geek Squad. I put up TVs. In fact, one of the funnier stories I have was right before meeting you for the first time in person. I had seen you a few times at a few shows, but before going to the weigh-ins for the first show at yours, I was actually working that morning. I had to put up a TV at somebody's house, drove from Hollister all the way over to Santa Cruz, and then did weigh-ins.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting. I mean, I'm sitting there like putting up the TV, and they're like, we want it down a little bit. And I'm like, can I go punch this dude in the face, please? I really got to go. Please? And they're like, all right, cool.
So are you the hardest guy on the Geek Squad?
Well, like, I mean, there are a few guys that are really into MMA. It's weird that, like, you're into technology, you get into MMA. One of my friends I've done an interview with as well. He does a podcast called Story of the Fight. Shout out him. Will, he trains jiu-jitsu. He's technically a higher belt than I am.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, Will's a pretty big badass. Maybe George. George is pretty smart in the game. He has a lot of knowledge. He does a few videos for some MMA shows. But I might be the most trained. I
think it's funny how people underestimate like the Geek Squad. Like never underestimate the Geek Squad.
Never estimate who you're just talking to. You never know who could be like, you could be talking to like Ryan Hall, and that guy like just is so unexpected, but that man could literally murder an alligator with like one arm tied behind his back. He doesn't even matter.
My brother, one of our old sound technicians that we had, he would poke you in the eyes. Like if you think he wouldn't, like don't test him. Like and you think it's gonna be a fair fight, like
hit
you guys
with
are
that
gonna,
Three Stooges, just
dude, right? And he'll like throw sand in your face or like hit you in the groin. And that's why, and that's why I value the fact that we're fighting with a referee and there's rules, because I'll tell you right now, dude, if there was no rules, like I would be annihilating the back of everyone's head. I've said it before, dude. Like, I don't think, because I mean, your face, I mean, it looks fun to hit and stuff, but I know your brain is in there of that giant melon, and then the back of your head is like a bunch of surface area where the brain is still right in there, and I know
can't even see where it's coming.
Bro, I know I can fucking knock you out from with the back of your head.
Probably not too hard.
I mean, I'm sure my elbow would hurt after like that back of the head strikes, but I've had plenty of street fights where I just fucking teed off on the back of people's heads when they like tried to shoot a shot. Dude, you never did that?
I mean, I've never like everyone says like, oh, you ever been in a street fight? And the only like street fight I've been in is like that backyard sort of fighting. Like we would get together every week on Wednesdays. Everyone catch the bus, go to the very last stop, and go to the last person's house, and just like we'd have like 50, 60 kids just in some dude's backyard just throwing blows for like rounds.
You have a question for us? Yeah, what you guys, Zach?
First off, this is from Jason Yu. He asked, is this the Portugal fighting? I don't know if you
Yeah.
The Portugal fight. Is that something that people know you in?
Well, I mean, I like to carry my flag out with me. I'm very, very proud of the fact that I'm Portuguese based. Gilroy has a lot of Portuguese heritage to it. Like, there's not a lot of Portuguese fighters in MMA, but like I don't know, but like anyone below sort of the rankings of somebody above us, we all know who the next guy is. Like Manel Cap, Pedro Cavallo, Andre Filu, who's fighting in, I think, a couple of days. My friend, somebody I know, Luis, is fighting at Dragon House in a couple of days. All Portuguese fighters. So we all like know a lot about each other, yeah.
And then he also said Daniel Compton wants Valley Tudo.
He said what?
You were talking about hitting the back of the head.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Compton wants Valley Tudo.
It's a Valley Tudo rule. So that's like where it's like Muay Thai, but like where there's like absolutely no rules. They do like the I think like they do ropes and shit like that around the
I've
wrist.
seen that shit, and they do. What do they headbutt too? Or is that's the Cambodia
exactly.
Foot up in their crotch.
Mm-hmm. All that shit's legal. So, short of like I think fish hooking you can't do, gouging eyes, but basically anything else, bro. You leave it open, you can do it.
And I like that rules because I don't want to get my eyes poked or my groin hit. I don't want like no holds barred, like barbed wire or nothing, But I'd like to hit people in the back of the head, ear. I like right in the ear,
Yeah, right on that button.
So
Off button.
So being Portuguese, tell me, how is that coming up? Is it different coming up at Portuguese or what?
Well, I mean, it's no different than being anything else. There is like a strong like Portuguese presence in California specifically. The dairy farm industry is almost like I think 90% Portuguese owned.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, it's insane how like if you look into it, there's like a lot of Portuguese influence in a lot of California, and also a lot of people get this sort of wrong. The absolute first people to colonize California specifically was Portugal, who then transitioned into Spain and then transitioned into Mexico. It wasn't for a very long time, and it also wasn't very influential, obviously, but it was the absolute first time. And so, like, there's just a lot of influence from Portugal. There's a Portuguese hall in almost every city that I passed on the way up here. One in San Jose, one in San Francisco, one in Gilroy, one in, short of like the small podunk towns like San Martin and Morgan Hill, but like every other city has like a Portuguese hall in it.
I love the Portuguese Hall. So what is that again? I don't even know why. I've been to the Santa Cruz Portuguese Hall a million times.
Santa Cruz has one, yeah. So we do a parade every year. Actually, the parade just happened in Gilroy. It's probably going to transition to Santa Cruz, I think, in like 2-3 weeks. It goes through all of the summer. It goes through all the cities and all the different halls. The halls are just Portuguese centers, mainly maintained by the Portuguese presence within the city. But it also, they rent out their hall to like quinceañeras and funeral, like not funerals, but like what's the vigils and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Anything religious based, they will, they offer, because they are a religious based culture.
Okay.
I don't want to get it wrong. I know it's Catholic or Christian. I'm not 100% on it. I'm not very religious myself, but they are a very religious based culture. And so anything religious based, they'll go ahead and rent out to you. But like every city has one of those. They'll do a parade every year. All the little different city organizers that are Portuguese will bring their organizations to help out that little parade, do donations and stuff. They'll do a parade from the hall to the church, from the church back to the hall. All the little kids will get, sort of shown to all the other family, hey, this is your cousin, this is your aunt, this is your uncle. And that just keeps everyone sort of like ingrained in the culture and keeps everyone, I may not know who you are, but I've seen you. I know you. You've influenced my life.
Sweet. No, that's awesome. What are the main martial arts, for Portuguese martial arts?
There's, like I said, there's not a lot. Portuguese MMA is actually not very, very broad. They haven't done a lot of shows. There are a few fighters out there, but like most of them have had to transition out of the country itself. I know Pedro had to transition over to Connor's gym. Andre had to transition over to AKA. A lot of them actually transitioned over to AKA. Luis transitioned over there. So it's not a very big hub for it, but I do know that most of them love to like punch people in the face.
Really?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Do that a lot.
But a lot of people love that for some reason.
It's once you get that liquid courage in you, bud. Like they do a lot of that wine. And, bro, I see my grandpa get into some mean ones.
People love punching noses, but but most people don't like getting hit in their nose.
Nah, not too much.
So it's kind of like it's super fun to do to people, but not as fun to be the reciprocant of the.
First time I had like mine like broken or whatever. I asked for it. Like it was one of those backyard fights. I was like, bro, I don't get punched in the face a lot. I do a lot of wrestling. You want to just break my nose? He's like, yeah, dude, I'll do that for you. And then we ended up fighting that day, and lo and behold, dude just punched me square in the nose, and I've never bled from the nose that much.
Yeah. I don't like it, but it gets easier and easier, right?
Yeah.
Because my nose used to get like fucking bad, and now it hurts, but it doesn't look as bad as it used to.
I'm not looking to get punched, but like it's not a non-enjoyable thing. Like in the gym, like when you finish off sparring, you look back and you're like, damn, those are some good ones. That like feels good.
Yeah, and winning's way funner than anything really. So as long as I'm winning, I'm down to just have my face completely caved in.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few pictures from the last fight. I don't know, I can't remember who took them. Shout out to whoever did. I'm sure they'll be in the information underneath the video. But there's like a shot of me like right after the choke from the last fight where I'm just like elated coming off the floor, and that's like a perfect encapsulation of like what it feels like to win after a fight. It's just like you're chasing that the whole time, like that feeling.
Yeah, I'm proud of you for that. So that wasn't it.
Nah,
I remember
it's the one
when he's
coming
coming
off the
It's when he's coming off the ground.
Yeah.
I remember it because it's one of those ones that makes your opponent sick. So I'm
Yeah,
sure.
it is, dude.
Yeah, so I'm sure Raul makes Raul sick to his stomach, and I'll be honest, because I'm the promoter, dude. So I'm an unbiased party in the fight's going to go however the fight goes, and may the best man win. I've been on the receiving and losing end of a lot of big fights myself, so I know how it is. But my team, and I've kind of evolved in the game to where I'm at now as far as the promotional aspect, but it wasn't always that way. I was kind of had like a Nate Diaz approach to things, like fuck the other side type shit, you know what I'm saying? And that was a big part of me coming up, and so people are kind of like a little taken back. They're like, wait, you're like talking to Raul's opponent? And it's like, I'm riding with them. I got to ride with all my guys, and they were upset when because I'm cool with Isaiah. Me and Isaiah Raul's previous opponent to you.
Chapman.
Yeah, me and Isaiah Chapman, we cool. I mess with Team Sergio Salguera. I've been over there. I've done films with them and interviews and a bunch of work with them. And then I chose them because I knew it was going to be a dope fight and they were going to show up and bang. The same reason I chose you. And but it's funny because some of them are like, oh, I can't believe it. And because I was wearing the Toste shirt. And
Yeah, that's pretty dope. That's
the shirt's sick, dude. And I ride with all my athletes because as weird as it sounds, we have the most in common with each other than like any other human beings on this earth, like all the other fighters. And I know we try to like villainize other fighters and try to make this like drama, so we act like we don't like these other guys, but really these are like some of the only guys in the whole world, 1% of the world, that can actually relate to us.
Yeah.
And these are actually the only people we would really get along with if like all these walls and constructs weren't here. And so although I do try to like build up fights at times, really these are all my people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was a really like, there was no like animosity between me and Raul either. Like it was really cool, the like interactions being had. Like he sent me that stupid little emoji the morning of the fight. I'm on my way up there, just like sitting there like, so annoying. I just want to be up there and like check in. And I look at my phone, I'm like, you son of a bitch. Like send me like a little kissy emoji. Like there's no animosity. Raul's a cool dude. It's better fighting like, people with like good attitudes and shit like that than like somebody who like, snobby thinks like their shit don't stink or that like you are lower than them or something like that.
I fought a dude once, Steven, at a Dragon House. He's dope. He's a good fighter, great wrestler, and I guess his two previous opponents had like taken the like real like the big shit talking route, like try to scare him route, and I was way older than this guy because I was fighting amateur pretty old, and he was like fresh out of high school fighting amateur, and so there's usually there can be a big age discrepancy, and I was definitely way more mature than him, I could tell, and I was just being nice to him, and his dad was there, and I met his dad, being nice to his dad, and then he ended up whooped my ass, But now we're friends, and he always respected the fact that like I kind of was genuine with him. But the thing is, I don't take that like, even though I used to look up to fighters like that took that like, oh, I'm gonna like try to punk this guy approach before we even fight or whatever. As I was gotten the game so old that I was kind of over it myself. Even though I still think I was cool, it's cool to watch, but it's not like how I could conduct myself as a professional, quote unquote. So I didn't really do it. But sometimes it brings a little bit more out of you because Joe Cropshot, he did it to me, and then he got me all pissed before that fight.
Yeah,
and
that was a
shit.
good fight too. That was where I got introduced to you. So like, I saw you guys at the weigh-ins, and my coach Andrew was like, "Hey, those two guys, those are the two guys you need to watch on the card. I don't care what fight or what happens in your fight. You need to come back in and you need to watch that fight because that fight's gonna be the shit." And I was like, "Why?" And I was like, "Well, Compton," or he said, he's like, "Compton's a badass. Cropshot is skilled as shit, and they have been talking nonstop." So like, I watched the interview you did with Zhang, and like, bro, you seemed pumped for that one. So that was a good fight.
I just couldn't believe I got the fight. I've been trying because I was trying to get that fight, and I was talking all that shit to get the fight because they were so far beyond me that I didn't deserve the fight, and I just hate when people say that, bro.
Yeah, bro, like anybody can beat, like I was saying before, like any game plan can beat any fighter on any given night. It's just a matter of implementing and keeping the game plan going, and then like whether or not, well, first off, whether or not you can implement it, like you have the skills to do so, and then like, dude, on any given night, like we saw with Amanda Nunes, like you've seen with so many people, GSP Sarah, like anybody can beat anybody. It doesn't matter. Like CM Punk could have went in there and Mickey Gall could have slipped on the way in and caught a knee to the face, and we could be in a different reality right now. But it just didn't work out that way. So like it does, like this whole like what's gonna happen, you have no idea what's gonna happen.
Yeah, if I knew what was going to happen, I would have bet money on myself in my last fight.
Dude, I wanted to. So I went on Tapology, and I was the only person that bet on you, or like voted you. I was
Really?
like, fuck you. Fuck all you motherfuckers.
They got no love for me, dude. And by the time the fight happened, it got to plus 250. So like I could have came up like if I had hit that line but fuck, I didn't know how what was going to happen. Like I thought the jab was going to work, the jab cross kick. I thought that shit was going to work, but I didn't know if it was going to work. But then sure enough, it worked, So, but also too, that was we were talking about that shit earlier, just trusting the preparation and trusting the game plan.
You obviously had good coaches in the corner. Bonner's a mastermind. He's like I said on one of his posts, like, bro, if Bonner says something, you just do it.
And it was hard to, I felt he told me it kind of put me in perspective of where I'm at, because what he told me to do was kind of what I wanted to do anyway.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, I got to land the jab. But don't get me wrong, great coaches throughout my whole career have been preaching this. It's not like I just like woke up one day and was like, oh, I should land the jab.
Yeah, exactly. The answer was always the answer. It was just a matter of you listening to the answer.
Yeah, like I've been told this my whole fucking career. You got to land the jab. And then, so that's what I was like, finally, like starting to believe. Like fucking, it all was making sense. I'm like, okay, if I land the jab, then other things will open up. And then, sure enough, Bonner's like, so you got to land the jab, and then if you start landing the jab, then the cross will present itself. And he was like, if you start landing the cross, then the left kick is gonna come, but in that order. And then, bro, that's all it takes. That was all it was.
Just a little listening, a little persistence.
So now that the fight has ended, what was the game plan for that last fight with Raul?
Raul, so like the game plan was a lot of what happened in the second round and not a lot of what happened in the first round. The game plan was to stay back a lot and let him try to engage and pursue, because he does a lot of the overhand stuff, engage and let at a distance. Let him try to do that, and then either sprawl out or like just disengage and throw on the break. Which is a lot of what I did on that second round. I caught him with the left hand. I caught him with a lot of uppercuts. And then like that left hand is what led into him taking that bad shot. And that was the game plan, was eventually him leading into a bad shot where he was either like not tired, but like I don't know who said it. Someone on the broadcast said jiu-jitsu guys love to take errant shots and then use the grappling exchange where they are like used to taking breaths. I kind of figured that would happen, and if I put enough pressure on him, I would have found my opportunity. I just didn't think it was going to be a choke. I thought I was going to have to get on top and keep landing him. I was landing quite a few punches coming from the back end of him, and I thought that was going to be sort of how the fight ended, but I ended up getting a choke on a black belt, which is, big feather in my cap.
It was very impressive. We watched it in slow motion earlier, me and Zach, and then I told him, I was like, yeah, we can't play that shit in slow motion on the fucking show. So we're gonna watch the whole fight. No, I want to watch the whole fight.
Sounds good.
So we're gonna commentate. We're gonna commentate the whole fight. While Zach brings that up, a quick word from our sponsors. No, I'm kidding. But Suncoast Awning is sponsoring us, and Santa Cruz County Life, the water, they're hooking up the water. I got my Muay Thai Mafia on, my Sean Clamaco. Good luck on that surgery. He's just getting that surgery. We're going to be in San Diego for the Triumphant Muay Thai card in San Diego. That's going to be this weekend. I'm excited for that.
Shout out, Zach.
Yeah, that's going to be sick. And then do we have that? Do we have the fight? Yeah. Oh, yeah, let's bring that up. Yeah, let's bring that up. So we're going to be the commentators. We're not playing the commentary, right?
No.
All right, good. So we're gonna hear us. So I want you to kind of walk me through it, man. You're gonna be the commentator for your own fight.
Okay.
I might interject a couple little things here and there. So this is the first round.
This is just the whole thing.
Why does Raul already look like he's gassed out and the fight hasn't started yet?
Well, I mean, warm-ups are warm-ups. It all just depends on how much he was doing on the way out. But also, like the announcers were saying on the way in, he had a lot of people in that audience. Like, it could have been that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, come out. That was a lot of what I was trying to do right here.
Pressure on. Put the pressure on.
As soon as he sort of made me engage on top, I was like, oh, maybe I can, stay on top of him, which was a bad idea. I should have disengaged and came back to my game plan, back to the center, especially right here. When he grabbed underneath my leg, that was when I should have just stepped away. Like right here, this is a bad idea. He was always going to sweep me.
Yeah, but going for that X puts him in. I mean, he's good at this sweep, and don't get me wrong, he's about to stand up and get it, but that's a sketchy sweep. And if
You
you're
want to pause it right
tired,
here, real quick? So, no, you're good right here. So Brandon brought this up last time, and then brought it up on when they were commentating. They were very impressed with how I could keep standing up like this when he came up to do the sweep. And the only way I was able to do this is by being a dummy for wrestling in high school. There's a move in wrestling in high school where you get a high C, you take it to the outside, and then you take that leg and you stick it over your head and literally wear him like a crossover or a bar, like you're doing a squat, and you just stand up into him and lift them up and put them down. So there's a lot of me being a dummy that had to do with why I was able to just stand up like this.
yeah, not bad. Yeah, go ahead and hit play. He finishes the sweep. I was shocked that he pulled guard, but what was going through your head right here? Just to do damage?
No, keep him engaged with that right leg so he's at least he kept trying to pull his head out there, and it was just no. I need to make sure that he is at least aware of this and respecting it. I know he didn't think that my grappling was that great, but he needed to, and he did, at least understand that right leg was there, and it's going to do something when he tries to transition, which he ends up doing. As soon as my leg pops out from across his waist and goes to go to the triangle, before I even get it, he's already out of there. He's transitioned and shifted his hips and got his head out. But I don't think he was ready for me to slip my arm out and do the Houdini, which I wasn't supposed to do. It was against the game plan. As soon as he gets on the backpack right here, I'm thinking in my head, bro, this is exactly what you told coach you weren't going to do. You weren't going to roll to your back.
Yeah.
But you from there, it's just a matter of all right, well, I got to keep scrambling. It's all a matter of whether or not you're going to stop scrambling or he's going to stop scrambling first.
So he had two under. He didn't have a seatbelt. If he had a seatbelt, you would have had to have fought choke a little more. Yeah.
And then I shouldn't have been, again, all of these engages where I'm engaging with my leg and I'm on his back. I should have let go and then just got back onto the standing position. I shouldn't have been engaging in these grappling exchanges. But at the same time, it did end up getting me to a position where I was able to get some of his gas tank exhausted. And I don't know if I would have been able to do as much of that from standing, but I mean, it did end up in my favor.
Well, I noticed when you guys were standing, he looked so uncomfortable that I actually think that standing is where some people just go into panic mode just because because they're standing and they don't like the punches coming at them. And so primarily grapplers get that weird panic mode just being on their feet at all.
Yep.
And that's something that you can get worked through. And I didn't see that in Raul's last fight.
You're gonna want to pause it right here, Zach.
I didn't see it in his last fight, but in that second round, I saw that he did not want to be standing, and he had rocked you. I think you guys both had rocked each other at that point.
Well, that's why I was saying to pause because I that's about to happen. Mm-hmm. He definitely hit me. He hit me hard. I wouldn't say he rocked me. If you watch, my ankles aren't shifting, my knees aren't wobbly.
You'll remember afterwards, were you fuzzy or no?
No.
Then, yeah,
but
you weren't rocked.
He knocked me off balance hard. So when we play it back, I'll play it. I'll talk it out step by step. But he hit me hard. That was a hard punch he landed for sure. If you want to go ahead and play, I just wanted to make sure that we were focused on that when it came up. So Again, I'm in here clinching. I hit him with a couple of knees, which I don't think he liked too much. Hit him a couple on the body. And then he shifts his weight and I sprawl way too hard. And as I'm standing up, he launches a mean one. And I'm falling back hard. But like at no point do you see my knees wobble or like my ankles shift.
Yeah, you look fine.
Boom, stand right back up, shift out of the way. And yeah, I'm off balance right here. I'm definitely putting too much weight forward, but that's my own fault. I have a tendency to do that. It's definitely something I need to work on, and I have been working on.
But also too, when there's so that was the end of the round.
Yep.
Because when there's a perceived, like when you perceive that you've rocked somebody, and you've probably done it yourself. I do it all the time. Sometimes I'll let off a couple too many without breathing, and then I'll feel those little tinglies like, oh, you just overexerted yourself.
Yeah.
It's really when you start to overexert that you gas out. If you can exert energy within like your threshold of exertion, then you can breathe and you can maintain that pace. It's when you like overexert, in my opinion, that I'll start to gas out. Oh, look at me with the belt. I was having a great time. That's your belt that you have now.
Yeah.
I wore my best flannel.
Dude, I know. Shout out to the flannel, dude. Everyone's rocking the flannel.
Yeah, that was a never scared flannel. Appreciate Never Scared.
But that's where everyone needs to stop talking about like you supporting me. See, you were supporting both of them. He's the flannel guy. I was the t-shirt guy, bro. You got both on.
Well, I guess because he is sponsored by Dixon Flannels.
Exactly.
That definitely wasn't a Dixon flannel.
Dude, you ain't gotta say that right now.
No, because it was a Never Scared flannel because Never Scared sponsors our show.
Damn. All right.
So in Dixon they sponsored Raul, but they didn't sponsor
You're
our
gonna
show.
get a half flannel that's like half Never Scared and half Dixon.
Yeah, well, I mean, if it was a Dixon flannel with a Never Scared patch, that'd be sick. So tell me, what are you thinking going into this second round?
I'm focused much more on the game plan. Like you'll see me like I'm.
What'd your coaches say? Can you pause it for a second, Zach? My bad. I got sidetracked during.
If you want to go through like the minute in between rounds, and I'll talk about what the coaches were talking about.
Yeah.
Shout out real quick. Shout out David Shirley. He got a really cool YouTube channel where they show the video from those glasses that you see that the refs are wearing.
Yeah, he's a good guy. He has a fiance, and he a good dude, man. Shirley.
He's just a really cool concept.
Bad. We'll see. We're getting off topic again.
Well, I mean, it wasn't at the beginning of the round. Like, skip it all the way to like Raul, because Raul's the first one that you see in the corner, and I'll just talk about like because I got a minute, so I'll talk about what the corner was saying.
Yeah, no, moving further back.
Yeah, to where you'll see Raul sitting down before me, I think. Yeah, it's good.
Perfect. All
so my coaches were telling me like, hey, you're not listening to the game plan. You shouldn't have gone to your back. Number one, like that was the most dangerous spot. And then the second thing was just reiterating the game plan, which was like, hey man, you need to be keeping him at distance, making him close, and then throwing either your uppercuts, your straights, or you need to be clipping him on the breaks from the clinch. When he does come in and you disengage, you throw off of that. And I'm like, all right, sounds good. And then from here, focusing on coach. He asked me, you got it? I say, I got it. He comes out. And then it's from here, like you see me sort of zone in. I'll like my upper body gets real tight. My guard gets real high. And it seems like I'm being tentative or I'm like keep consoling my like energy, but it's just like, hey, like this is the game plan. You need to do the game plan. Like focus on nothing else.
Nice.
So like I'll touch gloves and then it's like high guard, like step, push out, straight in,
he ate that
back
hook.
out.
I mean, it was a good Superman to close distance, but he should have fucking driven that shot all the way, drive all the way to the cage.
Take like 10 seconds back.
Was that the shin to shin?
No, that was the second worst injury. He hits me right in the freaking taint, and I had a bruise there for like a week and a half. Boom. Ooh. Bro, it was so bad. It's so bad. But yeah. Moving on from that, like again, it's just boom, uppercut, like my guard's a little low right here.
I guess you are kind of landing more in the exchanges.
But it's all just a matter of focusing on that game plan, trying to get him to feint, to come in, boom, drop the leg. Don't engage in grappling. I know he's trying to give you the opportunity to grapple with that leg. Don't take it. Put it back down, throw your strikes.
Look at your hair, though, too.
Bro, shout out to Styles by Kat, my girlfriend's coworker. She did those for me. First time I've ever had those braids done. Everyone's like, "Oh, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna be painful. You're gonna be crying. You're not gonna be able to do it." It was like the easiest experience ever.
So I was saying that Raul didn't look comfortable, but he actually looks like he's having a good time.
Yeah.
He's just losing some of the exchanges, though, and I could see why we get frustrated. Mm-hmm. But he doesn't look. He actually looks calmer than that.
That's the shin shot right there. That was it. And then neither one of us really want to throw shins after this. Boom, he throws to the head, but after that, neither one of us throw legs. I like,
he's working his kicks.
And that's the Aaron shot. Pringle. That's that Aaron shot I was talking about.
Yeah.
Boom, the left hand.
Well, it's because he's not driving. Penetration was there. He just thought that was the end of it at that point.
Or that I would like engage into his guard, like he would.
Yeah. I mean, you're going laces to the floor though, pretty nice. So like in theory, you just would have slid back.
Mm-hmm. Boom, and then go into side control, and then right here at Iowa, like without even knowing it. And then this is where I'm throwing those punches. And like I thought here he would like roll over into like half guard or like 3/4 guard, 3/4 mount, and like I would punch him out, and like he would like just succumb to the punches. But then right here I was like, oh shit, I have the neck. And then as soon as his arm went down, I was like, oh my God, I have it.
So his arm's trapped, and what's his other hand doing? Like, can he not breathe right here?
He's trying to get his shoulder out so that he can roll up and grab, but by the time his shoulder rolls out to come up, he's already like, oh shit, I can't breathe, or his neck. I don't know which one it was, but it's one of those two.
Yeah, I guess, Zach, let's watch it again. We appreciate Zach. He's making the magic happen. So those shots were landing pretty good right there?
Yeah. Most of them are landing. Obviously, like right here, like I can't come all the way down. But you know, as soon as they start, like boom, that one landed, that one did not, and then boom, I went in to go in for a punch, and I just slipped it into the neck. I trapped that arm, and I'm like, oh shit, I got it right here. And then again, his shoulder's trying to rotate out so that he can come up, and right there, that's where it rotates over, and he gets up. But by the time he gets up to attack the grip, he's already like, I got to tap.
Damn, you were arching your back.
Dude,
pretty
I
gnarly.
arched.
Did you watch that shit back right there?
Bro, every time I watched, I was like, oh, that was nasty.
You
I
were
did
trying
that
to
hard.
fucking like something had to give, dog. Like,
Yeah, I mean, like in retrospect, after watching it, I definitely feel a little bad because again, Raul's a nice guy. Like it doesn't feel good to do that to somebody who's a nice dude. But bro, I needed the title. It's just how it is. I needed that belt.
Yeah, you're all. Yeah.
And that's
Hey,
the picture.
were you able to recover that mouthpiece?
Yeah,
or?
it bounced right there. And then shout out to the camo officials. I always forget their names, but it's the husband and wife that are in there, the ring with us. They're the best right here. She notices where it's at, right there in between the A and the B. She brings me over to the corner and she's like, hey, go stand over here. Your mouthpiece is right here. And then as my homie comes up out of the crowd, rushes past all the security.
Oh, look,
gives me
his
a
back.
fist.
His back, bro. You fucked his back up.
Yeah,
dog.
that's what I was saying. I don't know what he tapped to specifically, but whatever he tapped to, that's what it was. So my homie right there, Devin, gives me a fist bump. And then after I give everyone a handshake and everything like that, the person who notified me where my mouthpiece was her.
Nice. Yeah, because those are expensive. Is that a custom one?
No.
Oh, it's just a regular?
Yeah, it's just a regular mouthpiece.
Come
I'm
on, dog.
I'm gonna get a custom one, bro.
When, homie? Like, is you doing fucking state title coming up? Like,
Once I get a sponsorship, bro, I gotta get a sponsor for that.
speaking of sponsorships, like who would be your dream sponsor? Like, have you reached out to anybody, or who you're looking for?
Oh, bro. Well, I mean, I don't know if like they would be a sponsor, but like, dude, if like the Pittsburgh Steelers could sponsor me, fuck, dude, that'd be sick. But there's companies that I enjoy, but I don't like subscribe to like, you know, any company is like better or like good in terms of like morally. So like it's just a matter of like who wants to pay me the right amount for, you know, the spot on the shorts.
I love that you want to be sponsored by a football team and we're fighters and shit.
Bro, live or die. I am a fucking Pittsburgh Steeler fan before anything else, bro. Have you seen like anything I've owned from like when I was a child to like now? It's all black and yellow, bro.
No, that's lit. My mom's from Pittsburgh. She's a Steelers fan, and it's funny. I have a bunch of my family from out there are fans. I hit up Cabrillo College football, and they sponsored me for my last fight.
Sick.
Because I played football at Cabrillo and shit, and I love Cabrillo. Coach Hansen, they're about to do big things over there. He was the D coordinator when I played, but now he's the head coach, and now it's about to be. We're about to slap everybody over there, dude. Did you go to junior college out there, or did you go straight to culinary school?
Nah, I just went to culinary school. I won a scholarship out of high school. I took like a college course for cooking in high school. I conned the system and took it 4 courses, and you're only supposed to be able to take it twice. So I took it 4 years, and the teacher was like, you should sign up for this like scholarship competition. Took a competition, won a scholarship, went to culinary school right out of high school.
Well, so the word on the street is that you used MSG.
MSG? Bro, the super salt?
Yeah, they were like, Toste was using the MSG, and that's why his shit was so flavorful.
Ah, damn.
Is
bro.
that what they said or not?
Nah, bro.
Oh.
Nah, it's just that if Toasty makes you toast, bro, that's just the victory. It doesn't matter.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I heard that. I had a joke I was going to say, and I'm so happy I just stopped myself from
probably
saying
a good
that
idea.
joke. I was going to say it, but I'm so happy I stopped myself.
Probably a good idea.
So no dream sponsors, because I want to get sponsored by Onnit. If
That'd be a
if you're
cool
out there.
thing.
Because
Yeah.
they fuck with Joe Rogan and shit.
Kill Cliff fucks with Joe Rogan. I bought a few of their drinks. That's what I mean. Like, I like companies. That'd be cool to be sponsored by them. But like, you know, there's nothing to say that Kill Cliff doesn't turn into like, you know, something crazy down the line.
Yeah.
But yeah, it'd be cool to get sponsored by somebody like them. Jocko would be super sick. You know, I like a lot of his stuff. The dude who does Gorilla Mind would be a cool one. I know it was mostly just like pre-workouts and shit.
Yeah.
But,
What about what kind of gear? I mean, you have a gear sponsor, don't you?
yeah,
Sponsored by GFY?
Yeah, I fuck with GFY. GFY has sponsored the gym that I go to for a long time, so it's sort of like good to just, you know, sort of keep it in the family, you know, sort of thing.
Yeah.
They've been good to everyone that I know from the gym, so they've been good to me the whole time. Haven't had to ask for anything really. I'm sure my coach has had to ask, but I haven't had to ask for anything. So they're great guys, great people to have with.
Hey, I love GFY. Mark's the man, dude. He always hooks it up. I owe him a lot, dude. He's always been a big rider in my career, and so I love them. They make great shit, dude, and it's right here local too. So if something happens, like I had a pair of tie pads where the seam kept popping, and they just kept fixing it, and they finally replaced it and shit. So they're always right there. Good for you.
I'm more excited about something like that, like going with like a sponsor that's more local. Like if I could, like what would be really cool is like, let's say I'm in like the UFC, Bellator, PFL, something crazy like that. And then like they ask me a question afterwards, like, who do you want to fight next? I'm like, you know what? That's a good question. You know who you will get the answer from? My homies from Story of the Fight, Will, and who do like a podcast or something and bring somebody who has like 100 subscribers up from nothing and make them like a MMA journalist or something like that simply because they rode with me from the beginning. That'd be cool.
That would be cool, and that's funny you say that because I'm actually hoping that you will fucking blow up giant. And then I'll be like, hey, bro, remember that time that we gave you a couple opportunities and shit? And then you'll come back and you'll fight for us. And I tell Deborah all the time, I'm like, Deborah, I know that like we're hoping the show will like just blow up and be successful. I was like, but dude, if one of these fighters that we've invested in blows up, then we're planting so many seeds.
Exactly. You become the play. Like, let's just use like just some random example. Patty, right? You may not know everyone Patty's fought, but like you've seen clips of Patty, so you know the promotions he's fought in, and you may not like know of them, but you've seen them. You know their gloves, you know their logo, you know their color scheme. Like they are in your brain, and like you said, it's just those seeds that you're planting.
Yeah. But we ride with Bonner though, so we don't fuck with Patty. That was a bad example. Just you talking about Patty the Batty?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no.
I mean, that's just because we were talking about him earlier, but it's just an example of like somebody popular.
No, he's actually pretty good. But we ride with Stefan Bonner.
Hell yeah!
So we'll keep that. So Bonner's going to be at our next. So speaking of next show, it's looking like the end of July. Hopefully you're available. I don't know if you're going to. Do you think it'll be available end of July?
Well, I mean, knock on wood, I've been available for like every show
every fucking week for the last fucking
bro. Somebody hit me up and for a different promotion. They were like, "Hey, do you want to fight? I saw you were like registered for the event." And I was like, "Oh yeah, I was, but I got something booked the week after you guys." And they were like, "I mean, shit, you seem like you can do it."
Yeah. No, you can do it. Yeah.
I mean, what was that I told you about Raul when we were trying to figure out the whole 45 and 55 thing? I was like, bro, book them both. I'll do them both the same night. I don't give a shit. I don't care if I lose.
We should have just ran 2 of those. I'm trying to figure that out with the commission so we could do giant same day tournaments.
I looked it up. I mean, technically, to the rules, all they have to do is sign off and say, hey, we allow this. But, you know, I'm not a commission, so.
And then we're trying to do Muay Thai in the cage too with MMA gloves.
Did you see that Russian promotion? I think it was like either 2 weeks ago. They did that cage. It was like fucking like the size of this table.
No.
Yeah, they did a cage. It was like 4x4. It's like 4 by 4 feet or some shit like that.
Dude, see, and you can't. But honestly, I wouldn't want to fight a really good wrestler in that cage and shit.
It would have helped the Carla Rose fight.
Yeah, they would have to have done something. You know what I'm saying?
Somebody would have had to done something.
Hey, bro. So I'm excited for you, dude. You got some huge opportunities ahead of you. Wait, our opportunities too. So we're going pro in Reno. It's happening. Bay Area Combat. We were out there looking at venues yesterday. So that's gonna happen, dude. And then the venue is gonna be sick, and the fucking fights are gonna be sick.
Reno's always awesome to be at.
And then, dude, and whatever happens in Reno, it fucking stays in Reno.
Yeah.
So
it's like half-ass Vegas, bro.
Yeah, unless you win your fight or lose, that'll be on Tapology. But the memories will stay out there in Reno. So that's coming shortly. I think it's looking like October. So we want to do end of July, Santa Cruz. I know no one's even watching all the way to the end of the show where I make the announcements. I probably should have done these at the beginning. End of July, Santa Cruz, October-ish around that time, Reno. It's going to be big. Give us the date for your state title fight again.
It's going to be next month on the 18th. June 18th is going to be in Napa, California, San Francisco Combat, Chardonnay Hall.
It's gonna be sick. I'm gonna try to go to that one. That should be a cool event. Family and loved ones who help you get to where you're at today.
Yeah, so it takes some time to shout out the family, shout out the girlfriend, the mom. My mom gets mad every time I don't shout her out. My sister gets mad every time I don't shout her out. Shout out you two. And then everyone at the gym, my coach Andrew, my coach Ernie, training partners Daniel, who was supposed to be here but flaked out because his knee hurts or whatever the hell it was. I don't know, whatever. Cody, who fights with me, who has his card, who has been on a few cards with me, Cody Schmar, Sharmer, Devin just got his fight license, who's going to be fighting on a few cards with us. Jesus, Elijah, Isaiah, everybody at the gym, shout out. Thank you guys.
Hey, if they want to follow you, how do they get in social media? How do they get a hold of you?
Toste MMA on Instagram, Toste MMA on Facebook. I have a Twitter. I'm not very active on Twitter. Not really. I have no idea how to use that thing. But you can send me a message there. I'll see it.
Hey, we're looking for sponsors for Toste, okay, guys? So reach out, hit him up, get tickets from him, see him on our upcoming shows. We're not done with them. He wants to defend this belt. We kind of want to double strap him up. So with the state title, it'll be a good look with a bunch of straps hanging off you. So we're looking forward to that. Brandon Kyle, our ring announcer. We love you, Brandon. Deborah Farrell-Lito, owner, promoter, Bay Area Combat. Daniel Compton, your fight director. Zach Anderson, your sound man extraordinaire. And Andrew Toste. We're over now, guys. Bay Area Combat Podcast. Hell yeah, dude.